Welcome to Doug in Exile. Okay, I have a little band-aid here. I picked at a skin cancer thing. It's not deadly. It's just stupid. Get used to it. Breaking news is Tucker Carlson is leaving Fox News. Here's a bunch of headlines. Tucker Carlson leaving Fox News. I'll spell all this out and read more from these articles. But first, I think what started this whole ball rolling is Tucker Carlson gave this speech at Heritage, and I brought some amazing clips with me, really about integrity.
None of this makes sense in conventional political terms. When people or crowds of people, or the largest crowd of people at all, which is the federal government, the largest human organization in human history, decide that the goal is to destroy things, destruction for its own sake. Hey, let's tear it down. What you're watching is not a political movement, it's evil.
We're making arguments of politics, and I've told you guys this in previous videos. Politics are so far downstream from America's heart problem, and we're trying to solve supernatural problems with politics and voting.
One side's like, no, I've got this idea, and we've got this idea, and let's have a debate about our ideas. They don't want a debate. Those ideas won't produce outcomes that any rational person would want under any circumstances. Those are manifestations of some larger force acting upon us. It's just so obvious.
I've long been against blaming Soros or China as the ultimate uniting factor that is America's problem. America's ultimate uniting factor is that there is good versus evil.
And I think two things. One, we should say that and stop engaging in these totally fraudulent debates where we are using the terms that we used in 1991 when I started at Heritage, as if maybe, I could just win the debate if I marshaled more facts. I've tried that, doesn't work.
When you live in a post-fact culture, facts don't work anymore. Facts are still true, don't get me wrong, but you have people totally disinterested in facts, totally disinterested in rational arguments.
And two, maybe we should all take just like 10 minutes a day to say a prayer about it. I'm coming to you from the most humble and lowly theological position you can. I'm literally an Episcopalian, okay? And even I have concluded it might be worth taking just 10 minutes out of your busy schedule to say a prayer for the future, and I hope you will.
That's how he ended his speech, had a giant ovation. That's the solution, is prayer. We're going to get into him getting fired in just a second, but I want to compel all of you, as a Christian and as a believer in God, and God is sovereign and God's in control. When was the last time we must appeal to him? Praying to God is more important than voting. Praying to God is more important than the right candidate winning, because we want to be on his side. We want to obey him. We want to follow the light. He is the light. I got bad news. If you go against the light, but still win an election, you're still screwed. Now let's get to Tucker being fired. First, here's Fox News' statement on Tucker. We thank him for his service to the network as a host, and prior to that, as a contributor, the network said in a statement. Carlson was Fox's top-rated primetime host, netting an average of more than 3 million viewers per night, the most of any pundit on cable television. This is Fox News parting ways with their number one talent. Why? Carlson's departure from the network came less than a week after it agreed to pay $787 million to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting Systems and coverage of former President Trump's false claims of voter fraud and the company's software. Just to remind you of what happened in that case, they used Tucker Carlson's emails and Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity to prove that they believed one thing and reported another, which I think that whole case is false, but it is true that Tucker reported they would interview, say, Sidney Powell on their show to talk about Dominion Voting Systems. But behind the scenes, they have texts of him saying that this is insane. He didn't believe it at all. He doesn't think at all that it was wrong. So that's what the defamation was, that he knowingly was defaming Dominion. In one widely publicized text exchange with fellow primetime host Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham, Carlson said he hated Trump passionately and called the former president's claims of voter fraud insane. Yeah, he came out hard against Trump. By the way, last month, Trump still came on his show knowing all of this, an in-depth interview. So what I'm trying to show you is that there's a huge diversity of opinion on the right. And you're allowed to think Trump is wrong and still be incredibly effective like Tucker Carlson. I think we need more of this, not division, but people telling the truth. Because what happens if you're afraid to tell the truth? Then you really are just becoming a liberal who fall to peer pressure. You must stand on your principle. Tucker Carlson's going to be fine. He's going to start some independent thing or go to another network. He's the number one guy that people want to watch. He's amazing. He's going to be great. It's Fox News that had a huge loss. I think they dismissed him to go to their investors and say, look, we did something about it. We lost 700 million, but we cut Tucker. Subscribe if you want more political news, and we will always do our best. I can be wrong, but I'll do my best to always tell the truth. I'm Doug in Exile. And pray.